Salute. Waterson. Emi Lolati Momoye. The day life. Divine rises and rotations. Beloved army. Hopefully, everybody is doing like this weather is doing right now. Amazing. Just this perfect warmth, this perfect hint of shade, and this perfect breeze. It's called perfection. As the trees hit that perfect green texture, the branches hit that perfect, I don't even know what kind of grayish brown that is. And the grass begins to sprout to its perfection because it's in season. When things are in season, they come into their fullest fruition. If you don't see the thing coming into its fullest fruition and it's the season of the population, then that means that thing is planted in the wrong place. And that means that that thing can't thrive there. And it needs to be uprooted and then replanted. Or you could wait and see if it's not uprooted and replanted, will it eventually amalgamate with the other things and become a hybrid. But hybrids don't have the same qualities or lifespans as the indigenous things, because the environment is conducive to the indigenous thing. The hybrid lives a life of split decisions, needing a little of this, and the environment has that, needing a little of this, and the environment doesn't have that. So what it does, each time it has to come through into season, it sprouts a new form of deformity. It figures out something new about itself. It realizes that it doesn't sprout in the exact same moment as the other things. So it feels like an outsider, and the other things realize that it's not the exact same energy as it. But people are like this too. Animals, insects, every single thing has its environment. And in that environment, in that indigenous environment, in that foundational, rooted environment, is where that thing manifests its highest of ideals. It lives its best life. It shares its best sharings. You see, it's about environment. And environment reproduces certain nutrients. And those nutrients feed the things that come from that environment. If you ever pay attention to people from different ethnicities and cultures, you see they season their food differently. Even the way they categorize their food or combine their food is different. Not because one version of food is way better than another version of food to everybody. No, they do that because the combination of food or the food combinations contribute to the ethnicity. Big ups. The food combinations contribute to the nutrients that are necessary for those roots. See, because nothing ever truly separates from its roots. This is why you can take something from a tree and you can replant that same something and then it'll sprout a new tree. It'll sprout a new fruit because it is still its roots. Nothing can grow without roots. So in order to be able to take something that has come from something else and replant it, that means it is its roots. Yeah. That's why foundation is so important. A lot of people, they talk about foundation, foundation, foundation. But I'm going to say something more important than what you see at the foundation than that thing that your feet stand on. Is the thing that your feet stand on top of. Is what's on top, what's under the foundation. What's under your foundation? What's the foundation that's holding up your foundation? Now we know that I don't do nothing just plain. So of course this is metaphysical, this is philosophical, this is ideological. And it's supposed to be taken in all those fashions, physically, mentally, and spiritually, literally, as well as metaphysically. You get what I'm saying? And we have to start realizing the purpose of nature. Neteru. Nature is nature for a reason, because everything in nature has a nature. What do you mean everything in nature has a nature? Everything in nature has a home in that nature. Tropical people thrive in tropical weather. You ever hear people when they say, oh, you know, them so-and-sos, y'all know that word, I don't really want to use the word at the present moment, get live and crazy when they in the summertime. You know why? Because our energy rises to its maximum during the warmth. That season when everything is warm, that spring and summer season. So everything is acting up because for 2 other seasons, those things are lying dormant because nothing is feeding them. Because by nature, we don't reside in cold climates. By nature, we don't reside in the climates that kill everything. But also by nature, Neteru, we are divine. So we can mutate to survive under any conditions, Hannibal. With those elephants riding through what the Alps or whatever the mountains was. So they go set that war. So they go conquer, reclaim. But even in that, that's a lesson. Some things are not to be conquered and some things are not to be claimed or reclaimed. See, our ancestral selves told us, yo, don't do certain things, and we transgressed that because we wanted to test, we wanted to challenge it. So we transgressed it, and we saw the outcomes. We saw that we suffered some things. Not only did we suffer some things, but the children suffered some things. And the children of the children suffer some things. Now, oh, that sounds like some scriptural shit, right? Where they say that the sins of the fathers, but this is the sins of the mothers and the fathers. But in most cases, it was the fathers out doing the scouting. It was the fathers out doing the warrior work, right? The conquest, right? The sins of the father shall be visited upon the children. Generation, right? And that's what we see. And it will continue to perpetuate in that manner until we fix the things that are not natural and reclaim nature. Until we replace, uproot the things that are not growing in certain environments and put them back where they need to be so they can thrive in those environments. Now again, this is not just about literal repatriation, physical repatriation. This is about mental repatriation, returning back to a space that is our own, that is ancestrally founded, that is ancestrally rooted. That's what this is about. That's what it's always been about. We just seem to forget it. Nobody else in the world has ever forgot that. We seem to forget who we are. Everybody else in the world remembers who we are. So let us remember. Salute. Salute. Absolutely salute to all of Watu.